So today we are going to start with a new chapter naming structural organization in animal. In this chapter we are going to study about tissues and its type. So this is from NCERT and we are just start with this. In this preceding chapter you came across a large variety of organisms, both unicellular and multicellular, of the animal kingdom. In unicellular organism, all the functions like digestion, respiration, reproduction are performed by a single cell. So, this means that in a unicellular organism, only single cells have to perform not many functions like digestion, respiration and reproduction. But in the complex body of multicellular organism, the same basic function are carried out by different group of cells in a well-organized manner. The body of a simple organism like Hydra is made up of different type of cells, and number of cells each is type can be thousands. The human body is composed of billions of cells and to perform various functions. How do these cells in the body work together? In multicellular, a group of similar cells along with the intercellular substances perform a specific function. Such an organization is called tissue. So what is a tissue? We have got definition here. Tissue is the group of cells which perform the same type of function, you can say. Okay. So such an organization is called tissue. For your kind information, I will say that first a cell is formed, then a group of cells form a tissue, and a group of tissue form an organ, and that organ form organism. We can take the example of humans like a cell, then they multiply to form a tissue, and then tissue together form an organ. You can say kidney or a heart or a lung. They all are organs. So that is formed by the group of tissues. So you may be surprised to know that all the complex animal consists of 4 basic type of tissue. These tissues are organized in specific proportion and pattern to form an organ like stomach, lung, heart and kidney. When 2 or more organs perform a common function by their physical or chemical interaction, they together form an organ system like digestive system, respiratory system, etc. If I talk about digestive system, stomach, intestine, you can say alimentary canal and esophagus, they all combine together form a digestive tract, you can say, or digestive system. Without one of the organ, the digestive system is not complete. Okay, so we cannot imagine food to be digested without stomach or without intestine. So that's the property, you can say, or that's the importance of organ system. Cells, tissue and organ systems split up the work in a way that exhibit division of labor and contribute to survival of the body as a whole. So in such a complex manner, in a complex body, a single cell cannot perform all the functions. So there have to be division of labor. Like if you talk about a person doing all the work, all the household work, all the you can say all the job work, it's not possible for him to do that. So what did same like in the body. So cells, tissue and organ systems split up their work. So they divide their work, and this is called as the division of labor, and contribute to survival of a body as a whole. Without this, a body as a whole is not possible. So now the animal tissue. The structure of the cell vary according to their function. Therefore, tissues are different and are broadly classified into 4 types: epithelial, connective and neutral. So now comes epithelial tissue. We commonly refer to an epithelial tissue as epithelium, spelled as epithelia. This tissue has a free surface which face either body fluid or the outside environment, and this provides a covering or a lining for some part of the body. The cells are compactly packed with little intercellular matrix. There are 2 epithelial tissue namely simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium is composed of a single layer of cells and function as a lining of body cavity, ducts, tubes. The compound epithelium consists of 2 or more layer cells and has a protective function as it does in our skin. So what is the function of a simple epithelium? That's very important. The function of a simple epithelium is just provide as a lining of cavities, ducts and tubes, and the compound epithelium function as a protective layer like our skin does. Okay, now on the basis of their structural modification, epithelial tissue are divided into 3 types. You can say squamous, cuboidal and columnar. But according to their number of layers, you can say they are divided into 2 types, simple epithelium and compound epithelium. The one is having a single layer is known as simple, and one is having the more than one layer is known as the compound epithelium. That's easy as that. And a compound epithelium is also known as certified epithelium. So this was about the epithelial tissue. Now we're going to talk about the epithelial tissues types. Now I'm having some photos of that. I will show you. So here you can see the photo of stratified squamous, about the you can say compound squamous epithelium. See the multi-layers are present. See, this is a real footage taken by microscope. You can see this, and this is a diagram to show you and to represent this. And you can see this is a simple cuboidal. Only one layer is present. This is the name. Cuboidal is the type of the epithelium tissue. I'm just trying to show you the single layer present in this. Okay, now let's read about its type. The squamous epithelium is made up of single thin layer of flattened with irregular boundaries. They are found in the walls of blood vessels and the air sacs of lungs and involved in the functioning like formation of diffusion boundaries. Just note the words I have underlined. So it's very important to learn the locations and their function. So location of squamous epithelium is walls of blood vessels and air sac of lung, and its function is forming a diffusion boundary. Okay, and you can say about the filtration. Here diffusion means filtration in the case of air sac, and in the case of wall of blood vessels you can say it's a simple diffusion. Now comes the cuboidal epithelium. It's composed of a single layer of tube-like cells. This is commonly found in the ducts of gland and tubular parts of nephron. For a kind of information, nephron is a cell of kidney, and its main function are secretion and absorption. The epithelium of the proximal convoluted tubules (PCT) of nephron in the kidney has a microvilli. We will read about in the chapter excretion. Now it's about the cuboidal epithelium. The main function of cuboidal epithelium is absorption and secretion, and is present in the nephron and the parts of nephron of kidney and in PCT. Okay, just underline. Now comes the columnar epithelium. The columnar epithelium is composed of a single layer of tall, slender cells. Their nuclei are located at the base. The free surface may have macrovilli. They are found in lining of stomach, intestine, and help in secretion and absorption. If the columnar or cuboidal cells bear a cilia. Cilia is like you can say hair-like structure present on surface of cell, and it helps in the movement of substance. On the free surface, they are called as ciliate epithelium. Their function is to move the particle or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. They are mainly present in the inner surface of hollow organs like bronchioles. Bronchioles are present in lungs. They are the narrow tubes of the lungs, you can say. And fallopian tube. Fallopian tube. In fallopian tube. Okay. So underline. Now we will talk about some of the columnar or cuboidal cells. Get specialized for secretion, and they are called glandular epithelium. Glandular epitheliums are the epithelium which are present on the glands. You can see the picture here. Unicellular and the multicellular. So it says that they are mainly of two types: unicellular, consisting of an isolated glandular cell, goblet cell of the alimentary canal, and multicellular, consisting of a cluster of cells, or salivary glands. That's example. See, here the cluster of cells are present in the multicellular of organism, and that seems to be more complex. But in the unicellular, unicellular epithelium, you can say, not much chaos there, you can say. And on the basis of the mode of the pouring of the secretion, glands are divided into two categories, namely exocrine and the endocrine glands. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzyme, and other cell products. These products are released through the ducts or tubes. In contrast, endocrine glands do not have duct. That's very important. Endocrine glands do not have duct. Their products are called hormones and are secreted directly in the fluid bathing the gland. Now comes the compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is made up of more than one layer. I've already told you that is multi-layered of the cells and thus have a limited role in secretion and absorption. Their main function is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. They cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands, and of pancreatic ducts. So the compound epithelium, we can also imagine the one who is multi-layered, and such a compound thing cannot be used for the absorption or secretion. It can just provide a protection. So that's a compound epithelium, and also known as stratified epithelium. So here we're going to talk about the junctions. All cells in the epithelium are held together with little or intercellular material. In nearly all animal tissue, specialized junctions are provided for both structural and functional link between the individual cells. Three types of cell junctions are found in epithelium and other tissues. These are called tight, adhering, and gap junctions. Tight junction helps to stop the substances and leaking across the tissue. Adhering junction perform the cementing to keep the neighboring cell together. Gap junction facilitate the cell to communicate each other by connecting the cytoplasm or adjoining the cells of rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, sometimes a big molecule too. So, if I talk about the junctions, junction help. The name suggests that junction means where the two things meet together. If I talk about the tight junction means where the transportation cannot take place. There is no gap in the tight junction and stop substances from leaking. Okay, and adhering junction. Whenever you use glues, it is written that it is an adhering substance. That means it joins different type of atoms together. So adhering means to cementing the substances, neighboring cell, cementing together. And the gap function, what is the meaning of gap function? Gap function helps to communicate in between the two cells. If I talk about the cytoplasm, some macrophyllae are present on the surface of the cell, which help the cell to interchange the molecules, interchange the ions, you can say. Okay. Now comes the connective tissue. Connective tissue is most abundant and widely distributed in the body of a complex animal, and they are named connective tissue because of their presence. Before starting about the connective tissue, I want to show you that this is simple stratified epithelium. So you can see that the number of nucleus is present and number of layers are present in this. So that's the difference between the simple and you can say compound epithelium. Here we're going to start with the connective tissue. So first of all, we should know what the connective tissue includes. The connective tissue includes cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood. And one more is there, that is known as areolar tissue. And if I talk about the cartilage, bone, adipose, and blood, we're going to take the example of blood. That's most common, and we know that blood is present to our head to our tip of the toe. So we all know that blood is a main circulatory organ, you can say, a circulatory substance or fluid which helps to circulate the things, or hormone, you can say, or anything, any nutrients, any minerals. So blood is a main connective tissue. Why? Because it's connecting the things. I think you have understood what I'm trying to say. So in all the connective tissue except blood, these cells secrete fibers of structural protein called the collagen or elastin. Now, what is collagen or elastin? Collagen or elastin is a type of protein or a fiber which provide you can say strength, elasticity, and flexibility to the tissue. So they are the fibers. Okay. Now these cells also secretes modified polysaccharides which accumulate between the cells and fibers and act as a matrix. Connective tissue are classified into three different types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. So it's a major category of the connective tissue, but the loose connective tissue contain more two tissue, and the dense connective tissue contains two tissue, and specialized connective tissue also contain two tissue. So these are major classification of this. So we're going to talk about the first loose connective tissue first. As the name suggests, they are present very loosely and arranged in same fluid ground substance. For example, areolar tissue beneath the skin. Often it serves as a support framework for the epithelium. Now, I would like to say that epithelium is a single layer tissue and it needs some basement membrane. So, epithelium tissue contains a basement membrane, and beneath this basement membrane, a tissue is present. That is a connective tissue, and that connective tissue is areolar tissue. So, basically, areolar tissue is like a support framework. Like, it provides support to the many of the tissues. I think you have got it. And areolar tissue is present in abundance in our body. Okay, as it is present beneath the skin. So it is also telling that it's a abundance. So now comes, it contains fibroblasts that cell produce and secretes fiber, macrophages, and mast cells. So I'm going to explain you about this. What is this? Just see this figure. Just see. Macrophage, fibroblast, collagen fibers, mast cell. So about the macrophages. Macrophages is a type of WBC which helps. We're going to study about it. Macrophage is a type of WBC. Like there are two type of WBC which works. Who's perform a same function. So I'm going to describe it about in detail in the blood. Okay, so you can just, for the time being, you can just recall it as a macrophage as a WBC which can eat up 100 bacteria at a time. Not a bacteria but a germ. Now about the fibroblast. Fibroblast is a cell which produces fibers, that collagen and elastin. Now collagen fibers is the fiber that is present and provides strength, about what we are talking about. And mast cells are the important cells which constitutes the areolar tissue. Okay, now we're going to talk about the loose connective tissue. We're talking about that only. Now it comes to adipose tissue. Now adipose tissue is another type of loose connective tissue located mainly beneath the skin. The cells of this tissue are specialized to store fats. Okay, the excess of nutrients, this is very important, that excess of nutrients which are not stored they're not used immediately, are converted into fats and stored in the in the tissue. So I'm going to tell you something very interesting, that whenever we are doing the gym, we are suggested to drink protein shakes. Have you ever thought why? Because cell uses glucose. We all know cell uses glucose for the respiration. Okay, now if glucose is not present in abundance, so what they do, cell prefer fats in the case of glucose. But if the fats are not present, so what the cell prefer proteins. So when we are gymming, we always gym for reducing the fats. So, and for strengthening the muscles, and muscle made of proteins. So there it is suggested to drink protein drinks, as the fats content will be very low if we are gymming. So for cells for respiration, they will choose proteins. Okay, I think you have got it. That's a very interesting fact. Now comes the fiber and fibroblast. अब क्या होता है? Are compactly packed in the dense connective tissue. Now fiber and fibroblast are very dense connective tissue. Orientation of the fibers show a regular and irregular pattern and are called the dense regular and dense irregular tissue. In the dense regular connective tissue, the collagen fibers are present in the rows and between the many parallel bundle of fibers. Tendons, ये बहुत important है. Tendons which attach skeletal muscle to the bone, and ligaments which attach one bone to another are example of this tissue. This was a question in one of the board exam, and this is one of the most important question from this connective tissue, you can say. Okay, this tissue is present. We were here. Dense irregular connective tissue has fibroblasts and many fibers, mostly collagen, that are oriented differently. This tissue are present in skin, cartilage. Now comes the cartilage. Cartilage, bones and bloods are the various type of specialized connective tissue. We have studied about the two type of tissues, that is dense tissue and loose tissue. Now come the specialized connective tissue. Now I would like to explore more about the blood one, because about the blood we are going to read in chapter number 17, I think, in the circulation. We will be reading about it, so we should be knowing beforehand about it. So this is the American website, American Society of Hematology. We're going to read from this. This is one of the most wonderful website. I love to read from this. So now blood basis. Once again, I would like to repeat: blood is a connective tissue, which is a specialized connective tissue, and now we're going to read about the blood components. Blood is a specialized body fluid. It has 4 main components: plasma, red blood cell, white blood cell, and platelets. Blood has many different functions, including transporting oxygen and nutrients, forming blood clots, carrying cells and antibodies, bringing waste products formed to the kidney, liver, filtering and clean the blood, regulating the temperature. So we're not going to read about much in details, but I want to tell you something about the component of component of blood and their importance. So you can also open this website and read from this. So plasma, what is the plasma? It is a component of blood, and the liquid component of blood is called the plasma, a mixture of water, sugar, fats, protein and salts. The main job of the plasma is to transport the blood cells throughout your body, along with the nutrients, waste product, antibodies, clotting proteins, chemical messengers such as hormones and proteins that help to maintain the body's fluid balance. So plasma is nothing much but a fluid, liquid, helps to transport the proteins, hormones, sugar, fats, protein, salts, etc. Now comes the red blood cell. We all know about it. That's erythrocytes or RBCs, known for the red blood color. It contains hemoglobin. And if you talk about the hemoglobin has a tendency to accommodate to combine with 4 oxygen at a time. And in in our body there are millions or billions of RBCs. You can imagine that how many oxygen compounds are there. So there's not much about the blood cells, but we have read in the class 10th about it in the chapter respiration. The most interesting part is white blood cells. Now in the white blood cells there are normally 2 types of cell. You can say granulocytes and agranulocytes. Now I want to cite a story like what happened when we are in a kingdom. One king is there and other are its workers, and one, you can say, mantri is there who everyone perform their different work, and everyone work is something common is there. What is that? They have to save the kingdom. That's all. For our WBCs, our kingdom is our body, and the WBCs are the workers. And one king is there, that is a T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. Okay, now comes the type of the WBCs. The WBCs are 2 types, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are divided into 3 types, that is acidophil, basophil and nucleophil. And agranulocytes are macrophiles, lymphocytes, and one more is macrophiles. Okay, and they are it has different functions. So in chapter 17 we're going to read about this also. So I'm just giving you its overview. And platelets is thrombocytes. It helps to for clotting blood, and that's enough for this. Okay, now we will come back to our PPT. So we were on blood, we have discussed. So come to cartilage. The intercellular material of cartilage is solid and pliable. The resist compression cell of this tissue, chondrocytes, are enclosed in the small cavities with the matrix secreted by them. Most of the cartilage is vertebrate embryos are replaced by bones in adults. क्या होता है कि जब we were kids and we were in embryonic stages and we were fetus, what happens कि हमारे कुछ सॉफ्ट पार्ट इतने होते हैं कि वो हमारे बोन नहीं होते, बट स्टिल वो एक कार्टिलेज होता है. वो बड़े होके ही बोन में डेवलप होता है, लेकिन जब तक हम फीटस के स्टेज में होते हैं सो कार्टिलेज इज प्रेजेंट. So this is a cartilage cell, and you can see, and this is the you can see spaces, and this is a collagen fiber which providing it as a strength, elastin. Okay, and this cartilage cell is also known as chondrocyte. Okay, now comes bones. Bone have a hard and non-pliable ground substances which is rich in calcium, salt, and collagen fiber, which give bone its strength. So what gives the bone its strength? It's calcium salt. So underline till here. It's main tissue that provides a structural frame to the body. Bone support and protect the softer tissue and organ. The bone cell osteocytes are present in the space called lacunae. So these are the lacunae. The spaces are lacunae, and these are the bone cells. Okay, so in this part इसमें ये लिखा है एंड लिम्स बोन्स सच एज, डू यू नो द बोन मैरो प्रोड्यूसेस आरबीसीज। लेकिन जो बोन मैरो होता है वो हर बोन में नहीं होता, लाइक द फीमर में होता है, ह्यूमर में होता है, बट हर बोन में बोन मैरो नहीं प्रेजेंट होता। ब्लड हम पढ़ चुके हैं। मसल टिश्यू अब आता है हमारे पास। मसल टिश्यू भी 3 तरह के होते हैं। स्केलेटल मसल टिश्यू, ये इसकी मैं आपको ऐसे एक्सप्लेन करूँगी, ऐसा इजी पड़ता है। ये है स्केलेटल मसल टिश्यू, ये है स्मूथ मसल टिश्यू एंड ये है कार्डिक मसल टिश्यू। अब क्या होता है स्केलेटल मसल टिश्यू में बहुत सारे क्या होते हैं, सायरेशन होते हैं। सायरेशन क्या होता है, ये देख रहे हो ना आप, लाइनें हैं जो ये lines are called serrations, but in the smooth cells no lines are present, so this is a without serrations, and in this serration are present। पहले क्या था कि दो मसल इसको टिश्यू में डिवाइड किया गया, स्केलेटल एंड स्मूथ मसल। बट स्टिल क्या हुआ कि हमें एक मसल ऐसा मिला जो इसकी प्रॉपर्टी को भी फॉलो कर रहा था और इसकी प्रॉपर्टी को फॉलो कर रहा था, तो हमने इसको अलग से नाम दिया, दैट्स अ कार्डिक मसल। आई थिंक यू हैव अंडरस्टूड। सो दिस इज अ वॉलंटरी मसल। वॉलंटरी मीन्स कि उसको हम अपने काम से चला सकते हैं। अगर मैं हाथ उठाती हूँ तो वो मैं अपनी मर्जी से उठा रही हूँ। लेकिन स्मूथ मसल, जैसे स्टमक में कोई काम हो रहा है, वो किसकी हेल्प से हो रहा है, स्मूथ मसल की हेल्प से हो रहा है, लेकिन उसमें मेरा कोई रोल नहीं है, ठीक है। और कार्डिक मसल भी इनवॉलंटरी है, उसमें मेरा कोई रोल नहीं होगा। हार्ट पंप हो रहा है, वो अपनी मर्जी से हो रहा है, मैंने इसको कुछ नहीं कहा, ठीक है। अब आप अगर देखोगे स्केलेटल टिश्यू में जिसकी एंड है वो भी बहुत ब्लंट है, टेपरिंग एंड्स नहीं है। स्मूथ मसल की टेपरिंग एंड्स है, बहुत तीखी तीखी एंड्स हैं, एंड कार्डिक मसल्स की भी बहुत ब्लंट एंड है। तो ये सिमिलैरिटीज आप देख सकते हो, कार्डिक मसल्स कभी इससे मिल रहा है, कभी वो इससे मिल रहा है, तो इसको हमें इसलिए एक अलग कैटेगरी में डालना पड़ा था, ठीक है, कार्डिक मसल्स। अब ब्रांचिंग किस में भी नहीं है, किस में ब्रांचिंग है, लेकिन कार्डिक मसल में ब्रांचिंग है। और आप देख सकते हो कि हमें ये कैसे दिखता है, इट सीम्स टू बी यूनिन्यूक्लियेटेड and it seems to be multinucleated and it seems to be uninucleated, and this also seems to be uninucleated, but they all are, sorry, this seems to be multinucleated, this seems to be uninucleated, and this seems to be multinucleated, but these all are uninucleated, okay, because वो सारे join होते हैं तो हमें उसमें न्यूक्लियस एक से ज़्यादा दिखता है कि ये एक सेल है एंड इसके और इसका हम एक मांगते हैं, इसका मतलब एक में बहुत सारे सेल्स हैं, बट स्टिल नहीं, ये अलग अलग सेल हैं और सबके एक एक हैं, हमें दिखता ऐसा है। तो इसमें डिफरेंस था, एनसीईआरटी में तो इतना भी नहीं गिवन है। तो आप जो मैं बोल रही हूँ आप सुनो, नोट डाउन कर लिया, कोई हेल्प करेगा। नाउ कम्स इन न्यूरल टिश्यू। तो ये इसकी रियल फ़ोटो है, माइक्रोस्कोप से ली गई। तो इसके अंदर कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं होता, सिर्फ इसमें इतना गिवन है कि इसके पार्ट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसके पार्ट्स लर्न करने पड़ेंगे हमें। ये जो जिसकी लाइन है, मतलब जो उसका टेल यू कैन से दैट्स एक्सोन, और ये सेल बॉडी है उसकी, डेंड्राइट है, और ये है न्यूरोलॉजिया। तो इसमें कुछ ज़्यादा गिवन नहीं है हमें न्यूरल टिश्यू के अंदर, सो इधर पढ़ लेते हैं हम। Neural tissue exerts a great control over the body responsive to changing conditions. Neuron, the unit of neural system, are excitably cells. The neurological cells which constitute the rest of the neural system protect and support the neurons. Neurologia makes up more than 1/2 of the volume of neural tissue in our body. When a neuron is suitably stimulated, an electrical disturbance is generated, which swiftly traveled with the plasma membrane. Arrival or distribution of neurons ending at the output of zone triggers event that may stimulation or inhibits of the adjacent neuron and the other cell. Okay, so this was about the tissue system, and I'm going to show you some photograph of it. It would be more interesting, I think. I've shown you this photo, na? So These were the skeletal muscle. You can see the skeletal muscle. Just see it. That's very awesome, you can say. It seems to be multi-nucleated. We are just see the heading, labeling. That's very, you can say, very important in the point of view of neat. And now comes the smooth muscles. No tapering end, just a blunt end. Not blunt end, just a tapering end. And the smooth muscles. Now comes next is cardiac muscles. It seems like a smooth muscle, but still it is a cardiac muscle. Now is nervous tissue. A real footage of nervous tissue. This is a neuron. I think that's very interesting. And these are connective tissue. It's a real footage. It's a areolar tissue. This is tendons, ligament, bone, blood, adipose, fat one, and these are the membranes present. You can say which membrane. I have told you about the membrane of epithelial tissue. So these are the membrane of epithelial tissue. So okay, now that's all for today. I hope you like my video, and if any doubt, if any query, please comment, and please like this video, and please subscribe my channel for more videos. And for the NEET, I'm going to discuss some question answers with you, which have come in NEET exam or the AIMS exam. In the next video, I'm going to do that, and after that, I'm going to start with the organ system and organ tissue. So I'm going to do like this, means dividing the chapter into 2 parts. So thank you for watching this video.